Welcome to our video on Autumnal Equinox 2019, which is Mabon, and Festival of Ingathering as well. Autumn Equinox in the Northern Hemisphere occurs on September 23rd at 2019, on September 23rd in 2019, and it's going to be at 7:50 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, or it's 8:50 a.m. For Daylight Savings Time. So we prepared a chart for you, which we're going to show you in a little bit here. And so we made it at that time because that's the time of the autumn equinox. And in the southern hemisphere, the autumn equinox occurred in March of 2019. And we're going to be also presenting an astrology chart forecast that's going to include the Archangel Uriel. That's the Archangel Uriel for the solar association. Okay, solar association. And also the planetary Archangel Gabriel is going to be for the lunar association. Okay, for the moon. And we're also going to provide zodiac angels, also planetary ingresses, both natural and hourly horoscope houses, station changes, and planetary aspects. Now, September 23rd celebrates the festivals of the autumn equinox, Mabon, and the Festival of Ingathering. So these are some of the names for this event in different cultures. Now, this is a time of the second harvest. And the autumnal equinox is when the sun is waning, with day and night being the same length. Now, Mabon is a Wiccan festival. And it begins on Saturday, September 21st, 2019, and lasts through until Sunday, September 29th of 2019, encompassing the autumnal equinox. Now, so that's the Wiccan festival of Mabon. It takes that time period, the 21st to the 29th, and the 23rd is right, in the middle in there. So that's Mabon. The equinox is on the 23rd. The Wiccan festival or the Wiccan celebration is called Mabon, and that's how long it lasts. Now, the second harvest, or Festival of Ingathering, is also found in the book of Exodus. That's chapter 34, verse 22 in the New Heart English Bible. You shall observe the Feast of Weeks with the first fruits of wheat harvest and the Feast of Harvest at the year's end. So we're talking about, this verse refers to the first harvest and the second harvest. So the second portion of Exodus 34:22 regards this Mabon, or this autumnal equinox, or this Festival of Ingathering. Okay, that's the biblical association, so you know that you're doing something that's okay according to Scripture, that is kosher according to Scripture. Now, also in Exodus 34, chapter 34, verse 22 in the Webster Bible translation, and thou shalt observe the Feast of Weeks, of the first fruits of wheat harvest, and the Feast of Ingathering at the year's end. I gave you those two because one of them has the word ingathering in it, but it gives you an idea what it's talking about. It's talking about that second harvest. So in agricultural societies, one has to know what's going on so one can feed one's family, one's community. It's just a part of science. I guess it's just, part of horticulture or whatever. It's just that part of science. Now, in the book of Exodus, chapter 34, verse 22, is a portion of Scripture where God commands the children of Israel to observe two specific cultural harvests, which both coincide with the ancient pagan traditions of Lammas and Mabon, respectively. The Wiccan tradition of Lammas corresponds to first fruits, and the Wiccan festival of Mabon corresponds to the Festival of Ingathering. When proper scrutiny is applied, cultural traditions prove to have more in common with which to celebrate than differences with which to fight. The Sun will be conjunct Mars, which will add ironclad determination to games or events of sport and competition. With the Sun trine Pluto as well, there will be an abundant energy aimed at pranks or acts of rebellion. Thus, hostesses and hosts, or parties or festivities, should keep alert. With that said, this trine aspect will make the mischief and the unruly activities to be of a more sort of cheerful and benevolent nature. The moon will be square Mercury and Venus, which puts tension between romantic feelings and logical imaginings of what amorous relationships could or should become. Now, Luna's opposition to Saturn and Pluto contributes psychic power to unfold sort of a whodunit type of mystery and party games. Luna trine Neptune contributes an otherworldly atmosphere to games, party themes, and also costumes. Spiritual types of party girls will like to dress up like animals or angels or fairies and ghosts. Now, secularists will prefer a theme from outer space. Mercury will have a square aspect to Luna, Saturn, and Pluto, bestowing organization, logic, and imaginative uprisings into the mix. So expect some last-minute sort of attempts for friends and family to add unexpected creativity to gatherings. So they're going to sort of want to, the last minute, add a little bit of their creativity into the mix. Now, with Mercury's conjunct aspect to Venus, these kinds of 11th hour strongly suggested aspiration from guests might request costumes or fashion which is not the exact theme that facilitators were going for. So make sure those attending know what is expected of them. No worries though. A Mercury sextile Jupiter facet is sure to blend in all of these various out there oddities of your guest list, okay, into a pleasantly comfortable and a sort of a pleasantly amiable amalgam. Now, Venus has a square angle towards Saturn on the autumnal equinox on the 13th during Mabon and second harvest this year, causing trepidation towards cultural legalities surrounding love and sex. On the 23rd day of September, Mars will have a square with Jupiter, worrying competitive guests with letting the underdog win. That's really no fun now, is it? Now, Mars opposing Neptune places such concerns into an ever-expanding universe of categories in order to allow every dog to have his day. A trine between the red planet of war and Pluto allows for new forms of gaming pertinent to all who attend, no matter their fashion sense or choice of costume. Jupiter will be present with a square towards Neptune, sure to bring the likes of Zeus and Poseidon himself to the festivities, adding games of power and strength. Saturn will be in a sextile configuration towards Neptune, and therefore selfie sticks are an essential. Neptune will be sextile Pluto, allowing outcasts and rebels to facilitate their ideals of what a second harvest feast should be. Expect exotic dishes of pumpkin apple recipes and seasonal incense formula. With these planetary aspects, be prepared for lots of desperate pleas for early arrivals or tardiness, fun games, and stealthy messaging about alternative community celebrations. We will also be providing accurate corresponding planetary archangels and zodiac angels to evoke towards making your gatherings potent and rewarding celebrations. First, our disclaimer: watching this video or reading the document attached to it is an act of spiritual willpower, and any such action is considered magic. High magic should be used with all mindfulness, since powerful forces of manifestation are unleashed. This is intended exclusively for entertainment purposes. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. I'm a Rosicrucian seer, a biblical astrologer, a Christian psychic, and a Gnostic mystic. This is a Readings by Rosemary angelic transmission. Now, the chart we prepared gives us the hour of the autumn equinox, which is rather an early hour for gatherings, and therefore so that people are able to begin making preparations for parties early. Also sacred circles and also rituals that you want to do right at that time. Facilitators must begin preparations at least a day before these events. Now, the exact time of 2019's autumnal equinox is September 23rd. Again, it's at 7:50 a.m. using Greenwich Mean Time. But it's the chart that we've prepared. It uses 7:50 a.m. for Greenwich Mean Time, but that's also 8:50 a.m. if you're applying Daylight Savings Time. Okay, so this is about the hourly horoscope houses, astrology calculations we're going to be giving you, because there's the natural house that's akin to the sign that the planet's in, but then there's the hourly specific sign that's specific for just that hour, okay? And that's the hourly associations. So we're going to be giving you both of those things, and we'll tell you which one is which. Now, also we're going to include the planetary aspects, the stations, the natural houses, and again the horoscope houses associated with planetary placements, as well as the hourly houses respectively. So we're going to start now with this for you. All right, there we go. Now, the chart that we prepared, it's up here, and we're going to pull it in a little closer here for you, so we can show you what's going on here. All right. So we have the sun is going to be in Virgo at 29 degrees 59 minutes in 12th house, which is similar to the sign of Pisces of spirituality. Virgo is akin to the natural 6th house of health and habits. The Virgin's divine tone is I analyze. Planetary Archangel Michael. Planetary Archangel Michael. See? He visits the habitation of Zodiac Angel Hamaliel of Virgo. So Michael is for the planetary Archangel of the Sun, and Virgo is Hamaliel, the Zodiac Angel Hamaliel. So Virgo is akin to the natural 6th house of health and habits again, and the Virgin's divine tone is I analyze. So again, it's Michael, planetary Archangel Michael, visiting the habitation of Zodiac Angel Hamaliel for Virgo. Now the moon is going to be in Cancer, so it's going to be here, okay? Moon in Cancer at 15 degrees 10 minutes in 9th house, which is analogous to the sign of Sagittarius of life path meaning. Now, Cancer is analogous to the natural 4th house of hearth, home, and family. The crab's divine tone is I feel. Planetary Archangel Gabriel visits dwelling of Zodiac Angel Muriel. Muriel for the sign of Cancer, the crab, and Gabriel is the planetary Archangel for the moon. Now next we're going to get to the planet Mercury. Now Mercury is going to be in Libra here, and that's at 14 degrees 57 minutes in the 12th house, which is akin to the sign of Pisces of spirituality. Libra is analogous to the natural 7th house of law and commitment. The scale's divine tone is we balance. And the planetary Archangel Raphael visits abode of Zodiac Angel Zuriel. Zuriel of Libra, and that's Raphael of Mercury, the planetary angel of Mercury, Raphael. Now Venus, the planet Venus in Libra, here in Libra, at 10 degrees 52 minutes in 12th house, which is similar to the sign of Pisces of spirituality. Libra is akin to the natural 7th house of law and commitment. The scale's divine tone is we balance. Planetary Archangel Anael for Venus visits habitation of Zodiac Angel Zuriel for Libra. Now, Mars is in Virgo at 23 degrees and 1 minute. So Mars in Virgo here at 23 degrees 1 minute in the 11th house, which is analogous to the sign of Aquarius of friends and reputation. Now, Virgo is akin to the natural 6th house of health and habits. The Virgin's divine tone is I analyze. Planetary Seraphim Samael visits dwelling of Zodiac Angel Hamaliel, Hamaliel for Virgo, and Seraphim Samael for Mars. Now, for the planet Jupiter, Jupiter in Sagittarius. We have Jupiter here in Sagittarius at 17 degrees 11 minutes in 2nd house, which is akin to the sign of Taurus of money and possessions. And Sagittarius is akin to the natural 9th house of life path meaning. The Archer's divine tone is I perceive. Planetary Archangel Sachiel visits abode of Zodiac Angel Nachiel. Nachiel for Sagittarius, Sachiel for Jupiter. For Jupiter. For Saturn, planet Saturn. We have Saturn in Capricorn. On the 23rd, Saturn will be direct. In September, on the 18th, Saturn goes direct. So this chart is for the 23rd. So by the time we get here, we've got Saturn in Capricorn direct instead of retrograde. Direct. Okay, so Saturn in Capricorn here. Saturn direct in Capricorn. At 13 degrees 55 minutes in third house, which is similar to the sign of Gemini of transportation and communication. Capricorn is analogous to the natural 10th house of social standing and fame. The goat's divine tone is I use. Planetary Archangel Cassiel visits habitation of Zodiac Angel Hanael. Hanael is very similar to Uriel. Okay, more earth signs and that kind of thing. Now, we have for the planet Uranus. Uranus is retrograde in Taurus. So we have planet Uranus retrograde in the sign of Taurus the bull at 5 degrees 55 minutes in the 7th house, which is similar to the sign of Libra of law and commitment. Taurus is akin to the natural 2nd house of money and possessions. The bull's divine tone is I have. I have. Okay? Planetary Archangel Auriel, it's A-U-R-I-E-L, as opposed to Uriel, which is for the earth signs, the Archangel of the earth signs. We're talking about the Planetary Archangel for Uranus, which is Auriel, A-U-R-I-E-L, visits dwelling of Zodiac Angel Samael for Taurus. Now, Neptune is going to be retrograde in Pisces. Neptune retrograde in Pisces here, right here, at 16 degrees 57 minutes in 5th house, which is similar to the sign of Leo of children and creativity. Pisces is analogous to the natural 12th house of spirituality. The sign of Pisces, the fish's divine tone is I believe. Planetary Archangel Asariel for Neptune visits abode of Zodiac Angel Amnitziel of Pisces. Now for the planet Pluto, we have Pluto retrogrades. Pluto will still be retrograde in Capricorn at 20 degrees 39 minutes in 3rd house, which is similar to the sign of Gemini of transportation and communication. Now, Capricorn is analogous to the natural 10th house of social standing and fame. It's all about the sort of popularity and standing in the community. The goat's divine tone is I use or I utilize. Planetary Archangel for Pluto is Azrael. Visits habitation of Zodiac Angel Hanael. Hanael. Now, the North Node is going to be here, retrograde in the sign of Cancer the Crab at 13 degrees 31 minutes in the 9th house, which is similar to the sign of Sagittarius of life path, meaning Cancer is akin to the natural 4th house of hearth, home, and family. The Crab's divine tone is I feel. Planetary Archangel Gabriel rules over Luna, and Zodiac Angel Muriel presides over the sign of Cancer the Crab. Now the Moon rules over the sign of Cancer the Crab as well. Now, as well as for so Gabriel is for all the water signs, and Gabriel is also for the Moon. Okay. In this retrograde station, there's often nostalgic or unresolved feelings, which might tend to be revisited for further healing. And understand, this is sort of the placement. They're coordinates on the Moon. These nodes are coordinates. Okay, so it's a little bit different. Okay, so again, the retrograde station of these coordinates, not of the Moon, but of the coordinates. It's often causes nostalgia or an unresolved feelings which might need to be revisited for further healing. Now, Cancer the Crab is a nurturing sign, so make sure to nurture those qualities in yourself that you wish to cultivate for health and for happiness. But at the same time, while ignoring attributes in yourself that do not give you what you truly want in life. Okay? Now for the hourly house calculations. Okay, now for the hourly house calculations, we chose 7:50 a.m. again for the hourly house calculations for Greenwich Mean Time, and for it's 7:50 for Greenwich Mean Time. It's 8:50 a.m. if applying Daylight Savings Time, and it's going to reveal the ninth house qualities of life path, meaning akin to the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is here, the Archer. Sagittarius the Archer, which is mutable fire for the North Node. Now, this places the South Node in the third house, which attributes analogous to the sign of Gemini, which is mutable air, the twins of transportation and communication. Now, for the monthly Zodiac natural horoscope house calculations. Okay, when referring to this month's placement of North and South Node, being that the North Node in Cancer and the South Node in Capricorn, okay, it becomes important for individuals to attempt to put more emphasis on practical usage of their own feelings or the feelings of others for purposes of socioeconomic climbing up the ladder of success towards fame and notoriety and more popularity, social standing, that kind of thing. Now, Cancer is analogous to the natural fourth house of hearth, home, and family, while Capricorn is similar to the natural 10th house of social standing and fame. South Node placement is in the sign of Capricorn, the goat whose divine tone is I use. Okay? I use. I utilize. The North Node being in Cancer, the crab tone of divine tone of I feel. The North Node represents an individual's path in this current incarnation, and the South Node represents corresponds to one's past incarnations, their past lives. And with the sign of Capricorn being the placement, it becomes more evident when we consider the divine tone of Capricorn, which is I use. So it begins to make a lot of sense with these kind of placements. All right, now for the astrological formula for Capricorn the goat, South Node past life with the divine tone of I use, and Cancer the crab North Node present incarnation with the divine tone of I feel, is that the person who knows how to utilize people and creatures, both flora and fauna, for either personal or organizational gain, begin to understand and sympathize with others when considering sort of relationships between the self and the not self. This comprehension explains what a monad is in the teachings of Kabbalah. Regarding the monad, it's sort of the self and not self. In actuality, everything is self. And when you get to heaven and you face God and the judge, it will be your own face that you see judging you on the throne. So just remember that. If you're being judged or punished for something, or you feel you're being punished, it's not Creator doing it, it's yourself judging yourself. It's how you feel. If you feel innocent, then you'll do well. If you feel a little bit, no matter what you say, if you feel innocent, then you do very well. Because it's coming from a purity. Okay, so that's what a monad is. Now, we're going to get into it next time. We'll talking about some other concepts in Kabbalah. But for now, we're going to stick with the monad, okay? There's also a glorian that's talked about. We're not going to get into that right now. Okay, now, regarding the monad, it's a concept that is explained by Dion Fortune, and authoress of The Mystical Kabbalah, a book she wrote which was first published in England in 1935 and then reprinted by Samuel Weiser Inc. in 1984. Okay, now for the planetary aspects for astrology chart, we're going to give you some more of this for some of these planetary aspects, and so you can see it really well. What we're going to do is we're going to be placing this specific chart for the 23rd of September 2019 for the Autumnal Equinox. We're going to be placing it on our Readings by Rosemary Facebook page so you can see it up close. And also, it's a month where there's a sort of a lot going on. Okay. A lot going on, sort of X marks the spot, really kind of honing down on things and a lot of tension, but some of it will create a lot of excellence. Now the Sun will be conjunct Mars, Sun conjunct Mars. The Sun will be trine Pluto. So the Sun in Virgo will be trine Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. The Moon will be square Mercury. So the Moon in Cancer will be square Mercury in Libra. The Moon will also be square Venus in Libra. The Moon will be opposing Saturn in Capricorn. The Moon will be trine Neptune in Pisces on the blue line. And the Moon will be opposing Pluto. So the Moon opposing Pluto on the dark red line. Now we're going to now move to the planet Mercury. Mercury will be square the Moon. So Mercury here in Libra square the Moon in Cancer. Mercury will be conjunct Venus in Libra. Mercury will be sextile with Jupiter in Sagittarius. So this is going to be on the green line here. And Mercury in Libra will be square Saturn in Capricorn on the red line, and Mercury will be square Pluto. So Mercury in Libra on the red line square Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. Now moving to the planet Venus. Venus will be square the Moon, so Venus in Libra will be square on the red line the Moon in Cancer. And Venus will be conjunct Mercury in the sign of Libra, and Venus will be square Saturn. So Venus in Libra will be square on the red line Saturn direct in Capricorn. Mars, next up Mars. Mars will be conjunct the Sun in Virgo. Mars will be square Jupiter on the red line, Jupiter in Sagittarius. Mars in Virgo will be opposing Neptune retrograde in Pisces, there on the dark red line. Mars in Virgo will be also trine Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. Now we're going to go to Jupiter, the planet Jupiter. Jupiter in Sagittarius will be sextile Mercury on the green line. Jupiter in Sagittarius on the green line will be sextile Mercury, and Mercury will be in Libra at that time. Now Jupiter will be square Mars, so Jupiter in Sagittarius will be on the red line square Mars in Virgo. Square Mars in Virgo. Jupiter will be square also Neptune. So Jupiter here in Sagittarius on the red line square Neptune retrograde in Pisces. Saturn will be opposing the Moon. So Saturn direct in Capricorn, opposing on the red line the Moon in Cancer. Saturn will be square Mercury, so Saturn in Capricorn on the red line will be square. Will be square Mercury. Saturn square Mercury in Libra. Square Mercury in Libra. Now Saturn will also be square Venus in Libra. So we'll have Saturn in Capricorn square Venus in Libra. Saturn will be sextile Neptune. So Saturn in Capricorn on the green line will be sextile Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And also there's another aspect here for Pluto, because Pluto will still be retrograde on the 23rd, but Saturn will be direct. We have Neptune, the planet Neptune, will be trine the Moon. So the planet Neptune retrograde in Pisces will be trine on the blue line the Moon in Cancer. Neptune will be opposing Mars. So Neptune retrograde in Pisces on the dark red line will be opposing Mars in Virgo. Neptune will be retrograde in Pisces will be square Jupiter. Jupiter direct in Sagittarius. Neptune will be sextile Saturn. So Neptune here, retrograde in Pisces, sextile Saturn direct in Capricorn. And Neptune will be sextile Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. So Neptune retrograde in Pisces will be sextile in the green line, Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. Pluto will be trine the Sun. So Pluto retrograde in Capricorn will be trine on the blue line the Sun in Virgo. And Pluto will be opposing the Moon. Pluto retrograde in Capricorn opposing on the dark red line, opposing the Moon in Cancer. And Pluto retrograde in Capricorn will be square on the red line Mercury in Libra. Pluto retrograde in Capricorn will be trine on the blue line Mars in Virgo, and Pluto retrograde in Capricorn will be sextile on the green line Neptune retrograde in Pisces. So again, a lot going on. We have trines, but we've got oppositions, and we've also got squares. So a lot of exactness and sort of your creativity or your otherworldly spiritual sense, and then your exacting sense, and bringing those all into play together. Now, regarding the precession of the equinoxes, that debate, the seasonal and considerations of those kinds of things must be taken into consideration due to environmental conditions as well as changes in cultural traditions of the application of doctrine. The application of doctrine. And doctrine was applied to astrology and astronomy, brought on by both secular and religious upheavals, which is how some of this came about. Now, for this, if you want to refer to the academics, please refer to references found in the work entitled Picatrix, Picatrix, very important work. Picatrix, a medieval treatise on astral magic, and then in parentheses, magic and history. So again, Picatrix, a medieval treatise on astral magic, magic and history, translated by Dan Atrell and David Poreka. Okay. Therefore, current Western astrological calculations and Earth-centric systems are just as accurate and just as viable as solar-centric systems. Now, having charts done in Western, Vedic, and Chinese astrology gives us several aspects of God's great clock. So you can see it from all aspects. You can see it from solar aspect, and sun-centric, and then from Earth, the heavens from Earth-centric. So you can see it from all the different aspects, because all the different cultures give you slightly different aspects and different characteristics that are all very important. Okay, now information found in this document is based on the oral tradition known as Kabbalah, taught to me by Rosicrucian clergy when I was but a young girl, the facts of which I have committed to memory. Thank you for joining us, and please join us again.